There's a gleam, man. There's a gleam. Let's get the gleam, all right? Let's go.
From Sky News. Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No?
He did
it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that, but do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend themselves, defend Europe on their own without...
I think they need help a little bit at the beginning. And
all my ladies say, hey, 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 papi. And all my ladies say, hey, 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 papi. No tengo que hacer mucho esfuerzo. Mami, tú bien sabes que es la que hay. Y chica, esta noche va a haber mucho sexo. Y no hay nadie que te lo haga igual. Bebé, yo estoy tocando en tu puerta. Y yo sé que estás loca que te dé. Y tú estás bien hot, estás mojada. Y cuando camino hacia la cama sé, there's home, ven por mí. Y sé que estás
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
What's that supposed to mean? Well, you heard of the extended family? Well, this weekend you part of one, which gives me the right to extend this belt to your behind if I feel like it. Oh, I'd like to see that. Oh, you would, huh? Well, anything to oblige your guests, mister.
Hey, man, you gotta be kidding.
Come on in here.
Oh, you must be crazy. I don't believe this.
I'm gonna make a believer out of you.
Damn!
Huh?
Hey,
No, you know the boy got it coming. Now get your behind.
I'm sorry. No! Why? He's already dead.
Remember, if you sit on the toilet at 11:59 and the clock strikes midnight, it's literally same different day. Until we meet again.
It's always something when you go live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this video finds you. Welcome to Text. I thought I was ready. So, white supremacy has made the Congo and Rwanda stop fighting. Oh, white supremacy. Oh, white supremacy. White supremacy can't catch a break, right? Trump's so racist. Look how racist he is. He's so racist that he made not one, but two countries stop fighting with each other in less than a week. Long enemies. Stop fighting. How did that happen? I mean, damn, he is so racist. It's just pathetic. Funny what racism, white supremacy can do. All right, so I just had to get that off my chest. because I mean, we have to understand that black people, they just have a battered wife. Yeah, he made 2 countries stop black on black crime. I mean, it's just ridiculous how black people have this. They have this abusive Stockholm relationship with the Democratic Party. I'm not a Republican, although black people started off as Republicans, and it was the Republican Party that freed us from slavery, the Emancipation Proclamation. It was the Republican Party that gave us birthright citizenship. It was the Republican Party that gave us the right to vote, all right, and own land. You understand? It was the Republican Party that treated us like human beings, that gave us those basic inalienable rights after they freed us from slavery. And I understand that it was to preserve the Union, to preserve the United States. What's up, Simeon? Because you had to end slavery, because the North is where all the jobs were, because down South, there's slave masters who had the best jobs available, which was picking cotton, had free labor. You can get paid as an overseer, but outside of that, please, you were begging for scraps. So many people came from the South. They either came from the South or they went out west, but a lot of them came up south. Came from South to the up north for jobs, which increased poverty, and poverty, of course, brings about crime on top of racism. You understand? You'll never get rid of quote unquote racism. It's gone on the judicial level, on the executive level. I mean, hell, we had a quote unquote black president, a quote unquote black vice president, quote unquote. All right, you got mixed cabinet members in a Republican presidency. Got black people in positions where it counts. The prison system overseeing release of black people who are in jail, and over HUD. Second time he put a black person over HUD. I mean, look, look, we all know that Ben Carson shouldn't have been over HUD. That was a bad choice. But the new brother that he got, he's doing pretty good. And he wants to cut out the fraud, waste, and abuse that we as black men have been complaining about ever since we got hip to the welfare game. All right, you want to get rid of baby mama culture and everything? Well, this presidency has set the terms to do that. It's sink or swim time for baby mamas. No more having a baby and having Zaddy take care of the children. It's time to stand on your own too. You're able-bodied, you only get 2 years on Section 8. Watching Messy Michonne today, they opened up the Section 8 voucher office. It was a long line. They were running to get the job. That is, if you are an able-bodied adult, if you get the voucher. They cut your food stamps. Now they're about to make changes to welfare. They're making changes to Medicaid, Social Security, all of that stuff. It's sink or swim time. This presidency and the next, and probably the one after that, is looking to be strong Republican. And right now, they need that big, beautiful bill passed. They're trying to get them to vote on it tonight, if not by the morning. They want it set and ready to go by the 4th of July. D-Day is pretty much how Trump is looking at it, in order to set everything in stone. And you can call it racism, white supremacy, all you want to. How about you get up off your lazy asses and get a job? He's bringing back thousands of factories are coming in here. I think they were at 1,500 so far because the tariffs aren't set. It's the whole point of the tariffs. The whole point of the gold card. The whole point of turning everything back over to you, the public, is to fix you, to fix this situation especially us as black people are in. No more special privileges for you, though. That those days are over. It is now going to be a meritocracy. I mean, I know I'm broken recording this, but it seems like, especially based off today, it's not getting through your freaking heads that this is the deal. So anyway, let's get on to it. I know I sound gruff and everything, but sometimes it's like, I mean, I'm at unk status, and it's like I'm talking to my badass nephews who never got a whooping in their life, and they don't get it. And it's like, okay, remember I told you. I mean, now you see, it's like I feel what Kevin Samuels was going through every time he got on the line with these goofy females. Except I'm talking to not all of you, but it feels like I'm talking to their bastard sons. Let's go. Yeah, this kombucha. Ooh, liberal tears, nice, tart, and sweet. Tart cherry. Man, they got everybody in there.
It's great, huh? 30 years. 30 years.
You say 30 years? They've been going at it for 30 years? Y'all ready? Come on, cameraman.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to ask Caroline, who's become very famous, big star, and she has a person who's a colleague of hers, a friend of hers, and that she has a lot of respect for, who comes from the area and knows exactly what's happening. Caroline, could I ask you to say a few words?
I did say what up.
Here we have Ariana, who is from the continent of Africa. She's been a reporter here in the United States for many years, and she has a story to share with the press, with the media, and with these two fantastic leaders who have joined you today. So, Ariana, please.
Why don't you come up here and talk so they can see?
Sure.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
It's a
Mr.
great honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. So as Caroline has mentioned, President, first of all, I want to let you know that I'm the only African reporter accredited here at the White House.
Wow.
And I cover for the entire continent. So
Wow.
I just arrived from Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo,
Right.
yesterday. I went to see firsthand how the people is feeling and the president's message, President Felix Tshisekedi, about this upcoming peace deal. And let me tell you firsthand what I witnessed myself. I spoke with the people on the street. I spoke with youth. They know your name. They know that our president named President Trump is working hard to finally bring peace to the country. I saw hope. They have hope now for a better day in Congo. They see what you're doing as a future, better future for Congo. And I had opportunity to sit down
Really?
with
A
President
fascist?
Tshisekedi for an interview because I want to understand his mind.
I thought he was a
what
fascist.
he's thinking, his feeling about everything that your administration is doing. And he told me firsthand that for many years, many American presidents overlooked this conflict. They didn't do nothing. Even myself, I cover President Biden's administration. I pressed many times about this conflict. People are dying in Congo. This country has so much potential, but they need help because this war is destroying the country.
Right.
They never gave me any answer. And he told me, President Tshisekedi, that you have no idea, he's very thankful for what you're doing, for what your administration is doing. Not only him, the entire Congolese people, they see that finally they will have hope. And President Tshisekedi also mentioned at the end of my interview that when peace finally comes to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he's thinking to nominate you as a Nobel Prize Peace because he said you deserve, you have been working to bring peace in the world, not only at the Congo, and he's very hopeful to meet you in the future.
That's so nice, boy, and that's so beautifully stated. And Caroline said, number one, she did say, and I shouldn't say this because it's politically incorrect, she said, She's beautiful, and you are beautiful. Okay?
Yes, she is. She is gorgeous. Look at her. Oh, she blushing. Oh, the President Trump, the racist, fascist, Nazi. He think I'm beautiful. And she is pretty. She is pretty. That's a beautiful sister. Okay.
I'm not allowed to say that. You know, that could be the end of my political career, but I said it anyway.
Oh, that's what's her name was talking about. Dang, I forgot the good brother's name. He was talking about it this morning. We said Trump said the woman reporter was beautiful. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, paid the woman a compliment. You know, whatever. Nobody crying over that. I'm actually glad he did that. You know what I'm saying? It brought a laugh to the room. She'll remember that forever.
You are beautiful, and you're beautiful inside. So I wish I had more reporters like you. You've been in Africa for a long time?
Yes, for over 10 years.
Wow.
I cover even your first administration.
Jibba jabba. That's what he was talking about.
Great.
Okay.
Well, thank you. That's so nice that you said that.
you.
Appreciate it.
And I have one more question,
Yes.
Mr. President. Since we know in July or in the future, both President of Rwanda and the Congo will be coming
Yes.
to the United States. In Africa, President João Lourenço, the president of Angola, he is also the leader of African Union.
Good.
He
Yes, I know.
worked very hard to bring peace, but unfortunately,
Let's get him here.
Yes, that's
Okay. Would you invite him for me?
Of course.
Okay. I know that he works very hard, and he's the head of essentially the union. So the union all over Africa, not the kind of union that we have. This is the union all over Africa, and I'd love to have him. So you'll let him know.
Of course,
Okay.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Good.
Mr.
Now you go back to where you belong,
Sure.
right? That's good.
Other side of the
Good
desk
job.
for you.
It's real knowledge and real heart too. Congratulations. Okay.
She'll let
So we're
Trump.
here today to celebrate
Yes, she
the glorious
would.
triumph,
Yes,
and
she
that's
is
what
a
it
great-
is for the cause of peace.
Well, you-
This is a long time.
Well, you know, JD Vance, he liked the chocolate. Look at his wife. JD Vance liked the chocolate.
Waiting the signing of a historic peace agreement between the Democratic Republic
Let's
of the
get serious.
Congo and the Republic of Rwanda. The conflict has continued, and it's been going on for many, many years. It's been going from, I guess they say 30 years, the Great Lakes region of Africa for a long time, and maybe even a time before that. How is the Great Lakes region? Must be beautiful, right? Beautiful region, but they had a lot of war, right? A lot of fighting, a lot of death. It's displaced countless people and claimed the lives of thousands and thousands. But today, the violence and destruction comes to an end.
Dude,
And
get
the
your mic
entire
out of my
region
shot.
begins a new chapter of hope and opportunity, harmony, prosperity, and peace. That's been a long time waiting. I said, how long has the war been going? And a friend of mine who was very much involved said 30 years, and at least 6 million people were killed during that period of time. It's incredible. And somebody said it's the biggest war on the planet since World War II. So it's a shame, but we're going to bring it to an end. I want to express my gratitude and congratulations to the representatives of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of Rwanda, who signed this pivotal agreement a short time ago. They just signed right in front. And let me also thank Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who has worked very hard on this subject, and we've worked on it together, for his outstanding leadership, as well as Senior Advisor for African and Africa Affairs, Masad Boulos, who's, as you know, spends a lot of his time in Africa, and he's very comfortable there. I said, were you at all uncomfortable with all of the turmoil and all of the killing? And he said, no, I wasn't uncomfortable. And that's what you need. You need somebody that's going to be able to get. So, Masad, I want to thank you very much for the job you've done. Amazing guy, actually. I also want to thank African Union, Qatar, Togo, for working closely with the United States. And I know Qatar was really working hard, and African Union, we just spoke about that. And I look forward to having them representatives here when we do the official meeting, and that'll be sometime in July. And we look forward to it. And you better be here covering it, okay? We're not going to send anybody else covering it but you. But this is a tremendous breakthrough. In a few short months, we've now achieved peace between India and Pakistan, Israel and Iran, and the DRC and Rwanda, and a couple of others also. Serbia, they were getting ready to go to war with a group I won't even mention because it didn't happen. We were able to stop it, but I have a friend in Serbia, and they said we're going to go to war again. And I won't mention that it's Kosovo, but it's Kosovo. But they were going to have a big time war, and we stopped it. We stopped it because of trade. They want to trade with the United States. I said we don't trade with people that go to war. And we said that also with, if you take a look at Pakistan and India, it was great. They have two great leaders, and they were able to stop. They were in the midst of a big fight. I guess everybody saw, and it was going to get very bad. And they are nuclear nations, very powerful nuclear nations. In the months and years ahead, my administration will continue to work closely with all of the parties in this deal and ensure the agreements are fully taken care of, and you're going to do what's in the agreement. We'll say you better do what's in that agreement, right? Because if somebody fails to do that, bad things happen. But I have a feeling that after 30 years, I think after 30 years, you're all set. I think both of you have said that's enough, right? That's enough. You've seen it all. So this is a wonderful day. It's a great day. We've had some tremendous success. It's been a great week between just coming back from a very successful trip. NATO's really pulled together. They have, they're going to spend over $1 trillion a year. Nobody expected a thing like that to happen. And we had the war, as you know, we call it the 12-day war. It was exactly a 12-day war. And we ended up with no nuclear weapons. That's what we wanted. They were just absolutely blown to pieces, those 3 sites.
I just realized something. He stopped 3 countries from fighting. Turkey and Pakistan. Was it Pakistan and India, or was it Turkey and India? He stopped 3 countries from fighting, all within a month. Within what, 2 weeks, sir? 3 weeks, sir? Stopped 3 countries from fighting. The only country that still has tensions right now is Ukraine and Russia because of Zelensky.
And there's no nuclear weapons, and hopefully there can be a lot of healing, and the healing is starting. And it's been a really pretty amazing week, and this is one that I really look forward to. This was set up a few weeks ago, and it was something that I really look forward to. If we can do this, and we do that because we have a certain competence that's good, we're able to get people to be peaceful. I think we can do war better than anybody, but we don't want to. And we have the greatest military in the world. They showed that in Iran. Those pilots, they flew for 36 hours. And think of that, and they hit their target. The size of this desk, half the size of this desk, from about 52,000 feet in the dark of night with no moon, 0 moon. They wanted it that way. Can you believe it?
Technology.
And they hit, every missile hit exactly half the size of this beautiful Resolute desk. We don't want to talk about it when it comes to rockets hitting it, but half the size of this. And they hit dead center from tremendous heights, going at tremendous speeds. It's amazing. Nobody could do a thing like that. Nobody has that weaponry, and nobody could do a thing like that. So we had a very busy and successful week. And in addition to that, our economy is doing great, setting records with the economy, and a lot of other good things happening. But this is about Congo and Rwanda. And I'd like to ask, if I might, would you say a few words before we...
I think he's fidgety.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Yes.
But before he says something, he said something that I want to address. Are we at war? No, we're not. Says now he needs to stop the war with all these gangs we have in America. Well, this is what I was saying. When they reinstitute crime, when they start enforcing the crime laws again, and they start locking up all of these YNs, and that's male and female, for all the crimes that they've committed, especially last year with all this looting and whatnot, that's when black folks don't go back to crying racism again. But it's like, no, nobody told you go out there and be part of a robbery gang selling stuff online on the black market. So, I mean, the bill has come due. Don't be crying. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The last place, I'll say it again, I mean, it's broken record. The last place you want to be is in front of a judge in 2025 and beyond.
Under your leadership, Mr. President, and the full support of Secretary Rubio and the entire team at the State Department, we engaged with the two parties in early April. And within 3 weeks, they signed the Declaration of Principles. And now within about 2 months from that, we have signed today the final, this is actually the final peace agreement. You know, many people were wondering if this is preliminary. No, this is the actual final peace agreement that they've signed today. You have also expressed interest in inviting the heads of states to the White House for a signing ceremony. So there will be some other additional agreements that will be signed. In addition to this, which will become known as the Washington Accord with regards to the Great Lakes region.
That's great.
There are some economic...
Why not the Trump Accord?
If you wish.
I'm only kidding.
Get your mic out of my shot.
And there's an economic aspect as well that is extremely important for both countries. They have also worked, last week we finalized the regional economic integration framework, which both countries will be signing at the White House here during that ceremony. And
that's going to be a great ceremony.
Absolutely.
Right? We're going to make that a great ceremony and bring other people that were involved, some other people. Besides the gentleman we talked about, who we know has worked so hard. If you think there are other people that are deserving, let us know. Okay?
And there will be some bilateral agreements. We're negotiating a minerals deal with the DRC for critical minerals. Many American companies have shown interest in investing in the DRC, and these we're talking about long-term investments. Same thing with Rwanda. Many American companies have shown interest, and not only in mining, but also in the midstream and downstream, which will be the processing of minerals. We're also working and supporting the Lobito corridor, which will help building the infrastructure. Just 2 days ago, the United States signed and supported a project of $1.5 billion for electric transmission from Angola to the DRC. And there are many other projects of that nature lined up. So we will be, under your leadership, Mr. President, we'll be working with the two countries very closely and with the support of Qatar to make sure that this agreement is implemented.
And a lot of our companies are in both of these countries now, especially since we've been getting along so well. It's probably the way we were brought together. And we have a lot of our big companies are there, between rare earth and all of the other things that they do in Africa, which is very greatly expanding, especially in these two countries. You have earth, they consider it to be about the best in the world, actually, I've heard. So we're doing a lot of different things, and it's all going to bring everybody together. That's how this all began, I guess. But the big thing is, the big thing for me is there's really only one thing, and that's getting a peace treaty with two countries that have been fighting for 30 years. And I want to thank you all. Will, if you could, you could bring the letters over.
Of course, sir. So in front of you, as you said, sir, these are the actual agreements that were signed respectively by the foreign
Miller,
Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda earlier today, witnessed by Secretary Rubio. We've also prepared for you two letters. This is to President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, expressing your appreciation and congratulations for everything that's happened already, and of course, inviting him to Washington for, as Dr. Bula said, what we hope will be the Washington Accords, finally setting the terms for peace and prosperity in this region, hopefully for a very long time.
That's great.
We'll see if it holds up.
That's beautiful. Very important. We're going to put a picture in there, right? As soon as this is over, they're going to put, we have a fast-moving photographer, Dan. He's going to put a nice picture of us Great. Here, okay. Thank you. That's for you.
Thank you. And this is a letter to President Chikisade of the Democratic Republic of Congo, again, congratulating him on settling this long-running war and inviting him to Washington, D.C. for the final conclusion of the agreement, hopefully soon.
That's great.
Did everybody get your pictures in? Okay. I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of these wars that we see all over the world, it's all over resources. It's all over resources. You fighting up, no auto pen, right? You're all fighting over land because of the resources. You're fighting over territory like Crips and Bloods, except unlike Crips and Bloods, you actually own the land. You own the territory. You know, you're not fighting over the government's property. Because as soon as they come in, they just take it away from you. So it's like, why are you fighting over this stuff? I'll tell you what, instead of you fighting over it, here's what we'll do. Look, this is your land, right? Yes. And this is your land, right? Okay, yes. All right, stop right here. Stop. This is your border. Stop. This is what we'll do for both of you. We'll come in, we'll cultivate your land, all right? We'll dig up your resources and we'll split it for you. We'll do the mining. All you have to do is just sit back and collect the profits. We'll split the profits. We'll come in, we'll hire your people to help work the mines, dig it up and everything, and you'll get a substantial cut. We won't bend you over and go up in you raw without spitting on it. We'll take you out to dinner, all right? But lay you down in a nice satin pillow and everything, you know, put like the candles, put on some soft music, and we'll make love to each other financially. Everybody benefits. Trump is taking a page out of Russia's playbook. Because remember, Putin, this is how he's able to do what he's able to do in Africa with BRICS. Instead of taking it by force, we make a deal. Let's make a deal. You know, Monty Hall, dig up his corpse. Dig up his corpse. Put a skin suit on him. You know, I mean, and now look, that once they, okay, fine. We'll make trillions of dollars. And the minerals, the resources. You can build up your countries. You can turn them from war zones into developing and eventual first world countries where the fighting is over. You give it a good 10 years, you get some real engineers in there. Send your kids here to go to school, or we'll open up schools, teach them engineering, STEM, build up your societies, and in 10 years, you'll be a tourist attraction. People will want to come and live there because it'll be beautiful. It'll be brand new. Shanty towns will become a thing of the past. You'll be cutting the heads off of Christians in tents somewhere out in the bush. You understand? No more hostages. No more having to kidnap a school full of girls and sully them as a show of disrespect. You say turn off the light? What light? You talking to me? Or are you talking about never mind. I'm pretty sure you're explaining. But yeah, like, you know, this is what you want. Isn't this what you want for your nation? Isn't this what you want for your neighborhood? Where your kids are outside playing with a soccer ball on paved roads. All right, you can go to the refrigerator, you cut up some wasabas or whatever, wasaba melons or whatever. Hey, come on, you guys come eat. Oh, I get it. Okay, turn off the light. Okay, I get it. Yeah, let's get cozy. I get you now. Okay, turn off. I get you now. I get you. Yeah, this is what you want. This is what the racist Nazi fascists just did for you. Just by simply saying, hey, look, let's make a deal. 30 years you've been killing each other over resources for nothing. When you should have just made a phone call. But America had no interest. I mean, we sit up here, you know, as much as we know as Black people that America is a nation founded on racism, well, you know, here's your racist Nazi fascists giving Africa a leg up, couple legs up, in two warring nations. Now you got to go to Haiti. You got to do something with Haiti. If you wind up just buying Haiti from France, from their natural resources, do something. Do something with Haiti. You do that with Haiti, and you're returning all those people to Haiti. In case y'all didn't know, that the Haitians that have protective status here, yeah, their protective status gone. They're deporting them too. I bet you won't see the Democrats crying and fussing and whining about them. No, they're only worried about their criminals. But you know, there's a reason for that. Sitting up here twice, you've asked Pete Hegseth if he would turn against the American people, or just people, period, at the orders of Trump. I mean, you've asked him that twice. Something tells me that you're up to something. So you need the cartel's army to be here in this country. Oh, and by the way, I like what Florida has done with Alligator Alley. If y'all are familiar with that, where they've got like they built a 30,000 jail unit. Like you're literally in a prison cell. They built these tractor trailers. They tricked them out to where I think you get 5 cells per person out there in Alligator Alley. And they put them so far out that, as Jasmine Crockett alluded to, because, you know, she run her mouth too much, saying that they needed 2 congressional seats in Florida. And I think one, I think it was one somewhere up north. But they definitely needed 2 in Florida. And I was like, there's no way in hell they're going to get those 2 congressional seats in Florida. And it was based on the population. It's not based on citizenship. It's based on numbers. So if you take 30,000 illegals in Florida and move them way out to the boonies in Alligator Alley, I mean, who do they count for the census? It's 30,000. Who picks up that seat? A Democrat or a Republican? It's in the boonies. Hopefully it's in a Republican ran county. I have to see. Matter of fact, let's take a look. Hold on. I'll let Trump continue talking, but I'm gonna take a look.
Take that pen.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I'd like to ask JD to say a few words, a great vice president, and then Marco, and go ahead.
Great. Well, first, let me welcome the foreign ministers of Rwanda and Congo. It's great to have you in the Oval Office. And second, let me say congratulations to the President, Secretary Rubio, and the entire team. I think for the people of these 2 countries, they should know that the United States is committed to the pathway of peace. But to my fellow Americans, this is really a celebratory moment. This is a big moment for our country because under the president's leadership, we've taken what was 30 years of killing and war, the worst war in terms of death count.
So it says here, this is weird. All right, so let's see. Alligator Alley, also known as Interstate 75 through the Florida Everglades, runs primarily through Collier and Broward counties. Politically, that stretch crosses multiple congressional districts. Florida's 26th district, which includes part of Collier County, is currently represented by Republican Mario Diaz-Balart. But Florida's 20th district, covers parts of Broward County, is represented by Democrat Sheila Cherfilus McCormick. So the answer depends on which part of Alligator Alley you're referring to. The western portion near Naples lies in a Republican-held district, while the eastern portion, closer to Fort Lauderdale, is in a Democratic-held district. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see, the detention center. You need
26th district. Because if it's in the 26th district, that means that the Republicans pick up another seat. Wow. Yes, the new detention center, nicknamed Alligator Alcatraz, is located at the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport in, Ochapee, Florida, which falls within Collier County. That places it squarely in Florida's 26th congressional district, currently represented by Republican Mario Diaz-Balart. So that means if they count the people in Alligator Alley in that zone, if they count them as a congressional seat, it falls to the Republicans. Isn't that beautiful? Check and mate, Democrats.
Since World War II, and now we're on a pathway to peace. And so if I think about what I know about these two countries, for 30 years, pretty much the entire time that I can remember these two countries being in the news, much of the story has been about them fighting one another, about them killing one another. And now we can look forward to a future where my children will look at this moment as the beginning of a new story, a story of prosperity and of peace. So thanks to the president, congratulations to the entire team, and to my fellow Americans. We should all be really proud, because it's amazing what active presidential leadership can accomplish when it's geared towards peace and prosperity. And that's what we have in the Oval Office right now. So great job, sir.
Thank you very much, J.B. and Marco. And then we're going to ask the two principals to speak.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, first of all, thank you. When I first came on this job a few months ago, you made it very clear that one of the priority of this administration under your leadership is going to be the pursuit of peace. And from day one, whether it's been in Ukraine and Russia, whether it's been Pakistan, India, whether it's been Iran and Israel, and in the continent of Africa, your priority's been on peace. And today we see this come to fruition. It's sad. Wars get a lot more attention than peace. But peace is harder than war, a lot harder. And I want to congratulate both of the leaders here and their respective presidents for choosing the harder path, which is often peace, than the easier path, which sometimes is war, as costly and as bloody as it may be. And I echo the vice president's statements, and that is that Americans should be very proud that the number one voice for peace in the world today is our president, your president. And so thank you, President Trump. And I want to, again, recognize Dr. Boulos and the work he's put into this from day one. He's really put a lot of time and effort, and as our friends from the respective countries can share with us. And last point, I do want to thank, you've done this already, but the African Union, Togo, and Qatar, who have been extraordinary partners and whose help we're going to need to continue to receive in order to bring all this to fruition. So congratulations to both of you, and thank you, Mr. President.
Great job. You want to start? Either way, would you like to start?
Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much, Mr. President, for having us here. I think I can summarize my contribution in 3 main points. First of all, thank you and congratulations.
There's Detroit.
This remarkable milestone, which is putting an end to 30 years of conflict and of suffering, and which is redefining the perspectives that millions of Congolese and of citizens of the greater Great Lakes region will have. The second point is stay committed, stay on board. We need the United States to make sure that this agreement holds and that you hold us accountable. And the third point is, if you stay on board, I think there are so many perspectives that we can transform our partnerships through, and that can usher in an era of prosperity, of growth, and of shared bilateral relationships that go well beyond the challenges that we've shared together, and that can at least, or finally, focus on the potential and of the wealth that we can share. So again, our heartfelt gratitude to you on my behalf, but more importantly, on behalf of the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Thank you so much.
Beautifully spoken, and I look forward
You won't
to
color
seeing
people's time.
They will, highly
That's why you
respected
always
person, as
late.
you know, highly respected all over the world, but in Africa in particular. So sometime in July, we'll do something, big ceremony. Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. This is indeed a historical day because it's the signing of a peace agreement between Congo and Rwanda to end a conflict that has been going on for 30 years. And there has been many mediation, facilitation in the past, but none of them succeeded. And we believe that it's because of your leadership and your steadfast commitment to this process, with also a new approach of economic integration, regional economic integration, which is important to allow Rwanda and DRC working together, because this is a very rich region with cross-border trade, with the minerals, with natural wealth. So with the US standing side by side with Rwanda and DRC, we believe that we will achieve a long time peace.
Stop sunning these
And
people.
we also believe that, as my colleague from DRC stated, it's important for the United States to stay committed, because today we signed, but now we need to implement what we have signed.
But you know what? You got to give the brother, look, you know, he got the clean suit on, got the purple tie with the pocket square, because, you know, this is like his brother is clean. The brother is clean. All right? His brother is proud. The brother clean.
In order to open this new era you were talking about of prosperity, so that we can reap the economic dividend of peace. So for this economic integration framework to be implemented, it's important for the US to accompany the parties to implement what we have signed, because in the past we have signed so many agreements that were not implemented. And we are really, we believe that with your leadership, with the involvement of the United States administration, we will reach that goal. So thank you very much, Mr. President.
You know what it is? They never signed a deal where the U.S. will come in and help them build up their respective countries. Guaranteed building of their respective countries. It's just, here, y'all stop fighting. Y'all go to y'all rooms, but there's no incentive to stop them from fighting. Now there's incentive, because you're fighting over money, over resources, over power. There's no need to fight anymore. What are you fighting over?
Well, this will happen definitely. I can reach over. Do you want to just
fight over the heat? What you gonna fight over?
And I just want
you get too much sun.
Signed agreements, and we'll make sure that you follow through. We'll make sure you follow through. Yeah. We'll make sure that you follow through. Okay, that's for you.
Ask Iran about following through.
I'm going to give to special people only. It's a coin.
Thank you.
And I hope you do that. I'm going to give you a second one for your leader.
They getting Trump coins? What are they getting? Sound like you got a desk full of coins.
Coins you don't want to. You don't want to listen. You'll be very. I think that your reporter from Africa should get one. What do you think? Is she allowed? I think yes. Are the reporters okay with it? Brian, yes. Darling, that's Steve.
Oh, look again. The black reporter gave her a coin.
And I heard you do a great job covering everything. Thank you.
And Mr. President, we actually have the pictures that you took earlier.
Oh, let me
foreign
see
ministers here already.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you.
Let me see that.
They're in this folder right here, sir.
Okay, this one?
Yes, sir.
Oh, they look better than me. I don't like it.
I can believe it. Detroit, I can believe it. Oh, yeah, they got them pictures out quick. There you go. Throw them in there.
Beautiful. That's great. You better, I'll tell you better do the job here. We're going to come down hard. It's beautiful. Thank you very much. So we'll put them in. That's for you. That's for you. This is for the Congo. What is it? For the Congo. Yes.
I think he gave out like what, 5 coins?
Let's see, do we have 2 of them? I think so. He wouldn't give us one. He would have made a big mistake. Isn't that nice? That's for you. That's for you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. And you're all set. And this is for you. You're going to get this. Good. Might as well hold it.
Thank you so
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. It's on the subject, sir.
Here we go.
Why not? Why not Canada, by the way?
Why? I mean, because this is about a different subject right now.
Oh, wait. Okay. I was about to say, because I had to switch screens, I was about to say, I hope Caitlin Collins is there to ask the stupid question so that way he can roast her. But clearly somebody else, and as you can see, somebody at Forbes doesn't know how to spell president. They got a little error here, but it happens. But somebody else was about to ask a stupid question, and he stopped them in their tracks. Let's bag it up. Hold on.
Hold it. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Miss, on the subject, sir. Why not? Why not Canada, by the way? Why? I mean,
Because this is about a different subject right now. This is right now actually a much more important subject. We just ended a war that was going on for 30 years where 6 million people died. So don't ask me a trade question on Canada.
Mr. President, Kara Castronova from Lindell TV. Now that your administration, and congratulations, has secured peace in Africa to a bloody, horrific war that's gone on for decades and no other president could do it, do you think the mainstream media will finally...
I'm telling you. But you're right. No other president could do it. They tried and they didn't even try. I actually don't think they tried. Do you think Biden tried? He didn't know he was alive.
Do you think the mainstream media will
Damn, Biden catch strays every press conference. Every
media will
press.
never give me credit. But the people give me credit. That's why I'm here. The people didn't give me. That's why we're here in a landslide. We got all 7 states. We won the popular vote. So the media won't give me credit, but the people give me credit. That's more important to me.
You're going to go down as a peacemaker. You're also going to go down as the president who had 0 border crossings in May. You secured the border more close than anybody has ever done. But I don't know if you know this. You're on track right now to have the lowest murder rate in history in this country. And I think a lot largely goes to the fact we closed down the border. Do you want to comment on that? You might go down as the lowest murder rate in U.S. history.
Yeah, I saw that the other day, and it's an honor. I mean, and that's really even better because, we've taken a lot of illegals into the country through the Biden administration that are murderers, 11,888 to be exact. And many of them are now gone. We got rid of them. They're back where they belong. But so it's a great honor. If you took that out, the numbers would be even better.
Man, not bad for a racist Nazi fascist, huh? Stop black on black crime. Secured the border, or at least in Africa. Stop 3 wars. Bringing trade back, jobs back. Low skill, no skill, medium skill, high skill jobs back to America. Cutting taxes, ending federal taxes for people who make under 200K. Good Lord. What a horrible president. What a horrible president. Got boys and males out of women's spaces. What a horrible time to be alive.
And created a lot of problems.
Your Truth Social earlier about being money to the air traffic controllers, the big, beautiful bill, which hopefully, praise God, if we get this thing signed. What does that mean to that industry that have been suffering the last couple of years, probably a decade of being underfunded? How that changed the safety of air travel?
Well, they've underfunded the airports for years, and I started the process of getting it completed in terms of the equipment necessary to land the planes, where the planes, like the helicopter accident with the plane, would have never happened if they had the right modern equipment. It would have been bells and whistles would have been going on all over the place. And I had that all set, but when I wasn't here, they totally dropped it. You had a terrible head of transportation. We have a very good one now, Sean Duffy. But you had Buttigieg, and he didn't know a damn thing. He'd ride to work on his bicycle. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He was terrible. So he totally dropped that. It was a project that should have happened, and I was all set.
Had trains derailing all over the country.
Experience with the voting, and so we didn't get to do that. But now I'm doing it, and we're going to have a great system. And it's funded partially by the bill. It's the initial funding is by the bill, and then it gets to be funded. The rest of it comes a little bit later as we build it out. But we're going to build out the best in the world. We have the best companies in the world. A couple of countries have very good systems. In fact, I noticed when I was landing, my pilot often would use the system of another country. And I said, what are you doing that for? He said, the United States system is so bad. So we have the best companies that do that in the world bidding. You have Raytheon, you have IBM, you have a lot of different companies bidding, and we'll get the best one, the best system for the best price. And they're going to go to town and give us a system that will be better than any other system in the world. And you won't have planes bunking into each other at 35,000 feet.
Mr. President, on the subject of peace deals, how close are you and your administration to a deal in terms of Gaza ceasefire right now?
often asked, and I think it's close. I just spoke with some of the people involved. And it's a terrible situation that's going Gaza. He's asking about, and we think within the next week we're going to get a ceasefire. And we're supplying, as you know, a lot of money and a lot of food to that area because we have to. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, because from what I understand now, all right, when they send aid into Gaza for the citizens that are still there or whatnot, you know, who don't want to leave the area or whatnot, what happens is Hamas comes in, they shoot up the place, shoot at people trying to get to the aid, and they take over the aid and they sell it to people, you know, to help fund their terrorism. But now they have the soldiers coming in to guard the food. They're fighting against Hamas. They're now guarding the food and making sure that the aid is getting to the people. So when you hear about, oh, you know, Israel blew up a food truck and all that, that's not Israel doing that. That's Hamas doing that. Because they can't get to the stuff. It's being protected. Well, now it's doubly protected. So that way the people can get to it and, you know, to stop the starvation and everything. So Hamas is they're losing steam real bad. And in all honesty, I am really shocked that they haven't sent the Marines or the Green Berets in to deal with Hamas. You know, it's pretty much they're kind of like halfway, mainly letting Israel handle the situation, but they're not. They're doing a terrible job. They're doing a terrible job. So you have to send in U.S. troops, a specialized unit, to go in and deal with these people. And you got American citizens sitting up here rooting for them. Like, you people are sick.
We're in theory not involved in it, but we're involved because people are dying. And I look at those crowds of people that have no food, no anything, and you know, we're the ones that are getting it there. Some of it's being taken by some bad people. You know, if you give it and you give it out, and it's supposed to be taking care of the people, and they end up stealing the food and selling it. But we have a pretty good system now. But so we're helping with that. You see the lines of people that just get one meal essentially. But it's too bad other countries aren't helping out. Nobody's helping out. We're doing that because I think we have to on a humanitarian basis. Like this, we didn't have to get involved in Africa, but we did because we thought it was. I mean, I've been reading, like JD said, he's, you know, from much of his life, he's been just seeing this about this brutal war, and it actually got a lot of publicity because of the level of brutality. Right? It was nobody's ever seen anything like it, and to be involved in that, I mean, I consider this the most important of my conferences today. We just had a great Supreme Court victory today, and everybody would say that was big, but you know, we're talking about saving thousands and probably millions of lives here. This is more important than anything. So it's great, but we're working on Gaza, trying to get it taken care of. And again, you know, a lot of food has been sent there, and other countries throughout the world should be helping also.
And on another conflict that I know you've been working on, sir, is it true that you have reached out with a letter to North Korea's Kim Jong-un?
Well, if there is a conflict, I get along with him very, very well, and we'll get the conflict solved with North Korea. I've had a good relationship with Kim Jong-un, and I've gotten along with him really great. So we'll see what happens. But somebody's saying there's a potential conflict. I think we'll work it out if there is. It wouldn't involve us. But again, we're very far away from a lot of these places that we're solving problems with. But I enjoy doing it. I like doing it, and it's the right thing to do. And we have an ability to get it done. So we're solving things that we didn't have a lot to do. Serbia, Kosovo, I told you that we solved a potential disaster. I can tell you that some of the countries that you're not going to hear about, but some countries that were ready to go to war with their neighbor are not going to go to war with their neighbor, and that's a great thing. We have a number of them, but I'm very happy about India and Pakistan because they actually have nuclear weapons. You know, when you talk about Iran, they were trying to get it, but India has nuclear weapons. Pakistan has nuclear weapons, high level nuclear weapons both, and getting that solved was really great. We did it through trade, so it was a great thing.
Mr. President, when it comes to
They
nuclear weapons,
did it with money.
are you concerned that the Iranians may have some enriched uranium at Pickaxe Mountain?
The last thing they're thinking about right now is enriched uranium. They're not thinking about what they want to do is they want to get back to life, and they do want to meet me, and we'll do that quickly. I'm going to do it quickly
They
while the
said this
meeting's
morning
done.
that they don't want to meet with the U.S. Are they
Well,
telling
they
you something
may-
different in private?
They may say that to you. Don't you think they want to meet me? Don't you think we have sanctions on there that they can't do anything? Wouldn't you think that they want to meet me? I mean, they're not stupid people, but they went through a lot and they suffered. And so did Israel. Israel suffered greatly. It was a nasty 12 days. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Are you considering sending Patriot missiles to Ukraine? Have you made up your mind about that yet?
I may. Go ahead.
On this context, Mr. President, there are a few unanswered questions that remain in this deal. For example, will
This
Rwanda, on this deal, this conflict, for example, will Rwandan troops pull back from parts of the DR Congo? Also, will the M23 rebel group be allowed to remain in parts of eastern DR Congo? Do you have any answer to those?
Well, let me ask you that question. You want to answer that one? It sounds like an interesting question for you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. In the agreement we signed, we have taken the concept of operation for the neutralization of the FDLR, which is a vicious genocidal movement, and the lifting of Rwandan defensive measures. So this was already signed last year in November. So we will implement it. This concept of operation to do both things, to neutralize this movement, which has been destabilizing Rwanda for many years, and to lift our defensive measures. As for the M23, in the agreement also, we have decided to rely on the Doha talks because there are currently talks between the AFC M23 and the DRC government to have a peace deal also that will complement the Washington peace agreement. So both things are taken care of.
Thank you. Mr. President, will the United States be enforcing this agreement?
Well, we're going to be working with them to get it enforced. They can enforce their own agreement, but we'll be putting a lot of pressure on to make sure it gets enforced. The two people in this room are very, very capable people, and they'll get it done. I think they'll get it done. They love their. One thing I learned very quickly is how much you love your country and you want to get it done. They know it has to get done, otherwise bad things happen. But I think we're well beyond that. Other presidents should have done what I'm doing right now. They never did it. I don't think they ever tried. I don't think it's like they couldn't do it. I don't think they ever tried. And if they did, they wouldn't be able to do it anyway.
On the president,
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. President, can you share with us what can happen if one of the parts violate this peace agreement? Because we don't want war to come back to.
Well, I'd rather not say. I would just say that there are big penalties if they violate, and they're not going to. I don't think they will violate. I think they, but we have very severe penalties, financial and otherwise. Okay.
On the president,
to
you
go back to your social post on Canada specifically, why are you deciding to end trade talks with Canada, and what rate are you looking to set?
So Canada put a charge on some of our companies, and Canada's been a very difficult country to deal with over the years. We hear Canada, we have a great relationship with the people of Canada, but it's been very difficult. And they put a charge, and they were a little bit early. We found out about it. So, and we have all the cards. We have every single one. We don't want to do anything bad, but they have economically, we have such power over Canada. I'd rather not use it, but they did something with our tech companies today trying to copy Europe. They copied Europe. It's not going to work out well for Europe either. And it's not going to work out well for Canada. They were foolish to do it. And so I said, we're going to stop all negotiations with Canada right now until they straighten out their act. Okay?
Is there anything Canada can do to change your mind about this?
No, they put a tax on companies that were American companies that they shouldn't, very severe tax. And yeah, I guess they could remove it. They will, but I don't really, it doesn't matter to me. We have all the cards. We do a lot of business with Canada, but relatively little. They do most of their businesses with us. And when you have that circumstance, you treat people better. They've had farmers that are getting like 300, 400, 200% in tariffs. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We have cases, you don't read this and the people don't report, but they charge us 400% on some dairy products. 400%. Nobody writes that. It's not fair to our farmers, and we've got to protect our farmers.
Sir, you just,
Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
You mentioned how much of a rate cut due to the interest on the debt. Earlier today, Director Pulte was on CNBC talking about how he suggested Powell should resign. Any comments on whether or not Powell should step down? I know you've been.
Well, I don't have a comment. I'd love him to resign if he wanted to. He's done a lousy job. Look, if you were there, you'd say, well, you know, the United States is doing well. They have no inflation. And if they do get inflation in a year or two, we'll start raising the rates. We'll get rid of the inflation, and do other things. Biden had the worst inflation in the history of our country.
There you go. Slapping Biden again.
19%, but I think it was much higher than that. Frankly, they say 19%. I think it's a lot higher than that. And we have almost no inflation now. We've done a great job in a short period of time. Energy prices are way down. Gasoline now is down to close to $2 in a lot of places. A couple of places I see it even broke. It's like $1.98 a gallon. We've done a great job on inflation and honestly, pretty much everything else. I think it's very sad the way people act. You have a guy in there that with the stroke of a pen could lower interest rates and save us hundreds of billions of dollars a year. But he's a stupid person. It's very interesting. I'm not sure if he doesn't understand it, because you should be able to understand it. It's sort of 101 economics, but I'm not sure of that. But think of it, with the stroke of a pen, he talks about costs. We can save $600 billion, maybe even, these are nice numbers for you, right? $900 billion, $950 billion by lowering interest rates. And it's really just more of a paper movement. It's not like you're not cutting anything, you're not cutting jobs, it's just interest rates. And we're number 40 or 44, number 45. Some places that you wouldn't believe that, I don't want to be disparaging, but they pay a lower interest rate than the United States of America. And without us, everything blows up. We sort of control the world in that sense. But we have a guy that's just a stubborn mule and a stupid person that is making a big mistake. He's making a mistake. And it lasts for years, because when you do the debt, now I've instructed my people not to do any debt beyond 9 months or so. Get this guy out. And whoever is in there will lower rates. If I think somebody's going to keep the rates where they are or whatever, I'm not going to put them in. I'm going to put somebody that wants to cut rates. There are a lot of them out there. And I said this morning, a lot of the business shows today were saying, Trump is right. He should be cutting rates. Think of it. We have a great country. We're making a lot of money. We're taking in billions of dollars in tariffs. We have $15 trillion of money that wants to be invested here, which is a record. In 2 months, it breaks any record that we've ever had for a whole year, and not even close. 15 trillion. And it's going to be much higher than that. That's after essentially 2 months, because, we've been doing it for about 2 months, 2.5 months. $15 trillion breaks every record in the book. There's never been anything like this. We have factories moving in. We have car plants moving in. We have everyone wants to be part of the United States. And as I told you, and I say it to everybody, when I was in the Middle East, the King of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, all great leaders. They have all great leaders. All three of them said, you got the hottest country in the world, and you did it at that time I was there for 4 months. We got back a little while ago. But everybody says it, not only them. We have the hottest country in the world right now. The only thing is we have a Fed chairman that is, he doesn't get it. And you could have substantially lower. Like if we cut him 2 points, would save more than more than $600 billion just because you cut. But you can't go out to the market and say, well, we have a guy that's got us at 4% or 4.5%, and we want to pay 2% or 1%. I think we should be paying 1% right now. And we're paying more because we have a guy who's, suffers from, I think, Trump derangement syndrome, if you want.
That's what I was going to say. I was waiting on him to take a break, but it seems like a guy that has TDS, or he's in the Democrats have him in their hip pocket. it's sabotage. That's how it looks. It looks like sabotage. But I mean, Paul has to prove us wrong. I would say me, but who am I? I'm just a guy on YouTube. But he had to prove us, the American people, wrong. If he's trying to hold off until, let's say, a month or two after the tariffs are set, because they're supposed to be set next month, I think July 8th. Some countries he might extend it because they haven't finalized working out the deals or whatnot. But if he want to wait a month or two, make sure everything is settled and set, and then lower the rates, then fine. Okay, I understand you trying to play it safe, but if you're seriously hamstringing America because you don't like Trump, well, then you have to go. Trump has to find a way to get him up out of there. He doesn't want to do it. He wants the guy to wait it out until his contract is up in 9 months, and then be done with him and have, a new Fed chair. But we'll see. This is the reason why a lot of things are still high. This is why a lot of things are still high. It's because of, Powell.
Another truth. But he's not good for our country.
The president of Ukraine.
No,
Did you push
not
the
you,
president?
not you.
A related question.
Not you.
Reports, Mr. President, that your administration is considering issuing an executive order about debanking, which is the practice of banks denying services based on people's political beliefs or industries such as crypto, people involved in that. Would you be open or interested to sign such an executive order targeting debanking, and what might?
Well, I think the debankers, I think that banks, I can tell you because I've been a victim myself, because of my politics, that big banks were very nasty to us. And I actually think it was Biden's people that told them to be, because the one group of people that banks are afraid of are the regulators. They are petrified of the regulators. And I've seen the biggest banker. I can tell you, you see him on television all the time. If a regulator walked into the room, he gets all nervous and crazy. They're afraid of the regulators. And if the Biden people order the banks to be virtually closed, they can do anything they want. The regulators control the banks. It's not the president of the bank. The president of the bank is far less important to a bank than a regulator. And a regulator can put that bank out of business, just like bad prosecutors are very dangerous. We had a couple. I had deranged Jack Smith and some others, and we kicked their ass. But it was, it's a tough kind of a situation. Prosecutors are very dangerous. A great prosecutor is an amazing asset for a country, but a corrupt prosecutor, a bad prosecutor is very bad. Well, the regulators are the same thing. And when they tell the regulator to go and make life impossible for big banks or little banks, they really control it. So there is a lot of debanking, and call it debanking, call it a lot of different names. Essentially, they make it impossible to do business. And those people are very bad and very dangerous, and they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, like remember what happened with Andrew Tate and a few others, but Andrew Tate is one of the most popular ones that it happened to. He wound up, I think he did some interview or whatnot. When the interview came out, I think it may have been a live interview, I'm not sure, but he did the interview, and the next thing he wake up the next morning, all his accounts was frozen, his social media sites were frozen. He couldn't even order an Uber. Like, they shut down all of his stuff with just a push of the button. Push the button. Couldn't get into his bank accounts, nothing. They put the squeeze on him and his brother Tristan. I mean, look at what they did. They threw them in jail for a couple of months. And now they let them out. And, now they're trying to play the will they won't they game with him. That's why when he did, I think he did that one interview, it may have been two, but he did the one interview where he was, sitting like he was on the square. He did the square with his hands, and also he did the square with his feet, the Masonic squares. He was leaning forward and was doing the Masonic square with his hands and with his feet. All right, which was a signal. Like, hey, I'm a Mason. I'm a Freemason or whatever. He was trying to do that. The as above, so below, all of that Bobby Hemmett stuff. He was trying to send a signal. Like, hey, look, I'm one of you guys. Look out for me. Watch my back. And you know, I think what it is, they just wanted to give him a little spanking, put him on timeout, kind of calm him down, because I mean, you really couldn't nail him on human trafficking. It's just like the same thing with Diddy. If you have willing participants and if you're hiring sex workers from one state to come in and perform what they're paid to do in another state and then send them back home with cash, that's adults, willing adults. This is what they do for a living. You're calling that human trafficking. If that's the case, then you have to shut down every major adult video company in the United States, because the majority of the people that are participating in the Bang Bros and all that stuff, these are women coming from different parts of the United States, if not the world. They come in, they want to get their $1,000, $1,500, whatever, to perform on tape, and then they go back to Nebraska, Kentucky, Ohio, whatever. All right. I mean, the big thing that got y'all know GDP, girls do, y'all know them. Yeah, what got them shut down was the off-camera stuff that they were doing. I mean, those dudes was wild. They was forcing girls and lying to them and whatnot. I mean, they got them on some really shady stuff. They got them on rape and extortion and I think RICO. They got them on RICO charges. I mean, they was told because they were not handling business off camera properly. All right. So, deception, theft. I mean, one dude fled the country. They caught him. They had to extradite him back to the United States. Those dudes are never getting out of jail. But outside of that, yeah, you have to shut everybody down. You have to shut everybody down. But yeah, so that's what Trump is talking about. Like, you've got these regulators, they can come in and have everything that you do just destroyed. They can destroy everything with just a push of a button. That's wild.
You told us that taxes, Mr. President, could you please explain how taxes would go up by 68% if the bill isn't passed? Where does that number come from?
Well, it comes from the fact that you have automatically the Trump cuts, which were the biggest cuts that we've ever had. Now, these cuts are even bigger, but from the last administration with the Trump cuts, it was a 5-year deal and it comes due. When you add that to the...
Hold on, who did what did? Because I just talked about 3 different things in one answer. You have to clear it up for me. I'll answer it.
Cuts that you already have and other things, amounts, according to what they tell me, about 68%. That would mean you'd have a tax, so that you know that the tax cuts that they got, the biggest tax cuts in our history, would immediately go up to that level. And that alone is a big chunk of the 68%. And then you have the other taxes that would accumulate. And they say that you'd have about a 68% tax increase.
Sir, you said a moment ago that it won't work out very well for Europe on trade. Does that mean you want to cut off those negotiations as well and just tell them what?
No, well, they've been very tough. The European Union was formed in order to take advantage of the United States on trade. That was why they were formed. And they're nasty. They're very nasty. We have a good relationship. I'm dealing with Ursula right now and the group. But it's a very tough situation. They have been unbelievably bad to us. If you look at past precedents, they've treated them very badly. They're being very nice to me because I get it. I know the system, and we have the cards. We have the cards far more than they do. And they have not treated us well, and they're coming to us right now. You know, I said I was going to put on a 50% tariff. As soon as I said that, I put it out on Truth. As soon as I said that, they came to the table. They didn't want to come to the table. My people were telling me, Scott was telling me, and the whole group was telling me that not a good situation. They want to tap it down the line. They don't want to really deal. So I said, we're going to put a 50% tariff on you. And Howard, as you know, was very much involved, Lutnick, Commerce. And he said, they don't want to talk. As soon as I put that on, I was getting calls from them like, can we meet tomorrow? And the problem is they have a lot of very unfair taxes. They have a lot of taxes that, you wouldn't put on, and they sue all our companies. They're constantly suing Apple and Google and all of these companies, and they're getting, in front of judges that essentially almost work for them. I guess they do work for them. They're European Union judges, and they're getting these crazy rewards. Apple was fined $17 billion, and others are being fined tremendous numbers of dollars. They're nasty people, and I don't want them affecting U.S. companies. I don't want that. If anybody's going to affect a U.S. company, I want it to be us. And if they're going to have to pay a penalty or a fine, let it be to us. So they've done this for a long time, for years, but they're very nasty. The European Union is very nasty. There's no question, but they'll learn not to be so nasty very soon. They know that. They know it's coming.
Vladimir Putin reached out to you to help you with the Iran crisis.
He made some nice statements today. Did you see the statements? Very nice. Vladimir Putin made some very nice statements today. Look, he respects our country again. He didn't respect it a year ago, I can tell you right now. But Putin respects our country. And President Xi of China respects our country. Kim Jong-un they respect our country again. We were not a country that was respected just a year ago. We had a president that was incompetent. We had bad people circulating around this desk, this beautiful, resolute desk. They had, I guess, evil intentions. You couldn't be that stupid. I mean, they had evil intentions. But the world respects our country again. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, so there it is. All right, so he's talking about the Detro and how you doing? Who did what? Well, what's the basis of the question? Because when I go into talking like that, I have to stop the video. I have to switch screens. So I didn't know where your question popped up, but help me out. I'll answer it. I'll gladly answer it. But at any rate, the racist Nazi fascists stopped the 30-year war, black on black African crime between Rwanda and the Congo. What a terrible president. What a terrible president. I want Kamala in office. I want Kamala. This is terrible. How dare he? I need chaos and conflict and world domination from foreign terrorist countries. How dare we have peace? How dare we have prosperity? As you heard the one reporter say, hey, your murder rates have dropped the lowest they've ever been in American history, which is kind of wild. Like, I mean, did they have statistics back in the 1800s? I mean, at any rate, still. Terrible times, my friend. Terrible times. Like, man, we won't be able to get our mocha latte pumpkin spice with the cream filling coffees or anything. Oh my God. Our Argyle sweaters will be itchy. Oh my goodness gracious me. I mean, look how racist he is. Look how racist he is. Just terrible. Just terrible. All right, y'all. So let's get out of here, unless y'all got any questions, but I guess not. So I can actually get out of here early tonight. I will catch y'all tomorrow. No, what's tomorrow? Sunday? No, I will not see y'all Sunday. I'll catch y'all Monday unless a nuclear bomb or something drops. Y'all be safe out there. All right. Keep your heads on swivels. All right. Because, I mean, we're not in the clear, but, I love you. Y'all be safe.
Demon King Satan. Satan.
Nope, not
Satan.
Satan.
Satan. Satan. Satan. Satan. Satan. Satan.
I actually felt retarded, like really retarded. I mean, I brushed my teeth retarded. I rode the bus retarded. Dang. In a weird way, I had to sort of just free myself up to believe that it was okay to be stupid or dumb.
To be a moron.
Yeah.
To be moronical.
Exactly. To be a moron.
An imbecile.
Yeah.
like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
And even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. No.
You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you.
And then I'm like, this baby motherfucker better not blow up by nuclear shit, or I'm gonna go loco on this bitch. And then he blows up all my nuclear shit, and I'm like, call my general. And they tell me, they're all dead, sir. And I'm like, assemble the army. And they're like, they're dead too, sir. So then I'm like, launch the friggin' missiles. And they're like, sir, they're gone, sir. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Damn, I know I shouldn't have called on this nigga. I shouldn't have called on you because you're always trying to distract motherfucker. Fine, I'll answer your stupid ass question.
We have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Get the fuck out!
All right, bye. Thanks for the fun.